Would you rather spend your later years chasing your grandchildren around the park, pushing them on the swing, and catching them at the bottom of the slide? Or would you rather be at home in a wheelchair or perhaps just sitting on the couch watching TV because you don't have any mobility from being physically inactive most of your life? Physical activity during your middle years can provide positive effects to your self-esteem now and can help prevent some of the age-related illnesses and problems that sometimes cause adults issues in their later years. During this presentation, I'm going to discuss several studies that suggest that physical activity and exercise can help prevent age-related injuries and and decline in physical condition, and will make you feel better about continuing to participate in the activities that you have enjoyed all your life. We all want to be happier in life, and one of the ways we can do this is to continue to do the things that we've been doing all our life and that we enjoy. Even sometimes long past the age when people look at us and say, "Aren't you a little old for that?" In the study by Haas that was titled "The Effective Guided Systematic Aerobic Dance Program on the Self-Esteem of Adults," the author found that a group of middle-aged women who participated in the study finished a year of the aerobic dance program in better physical condition, had a better body image, and much better self-esteem than the control group who had been sedentary. And the authors concluded that there was a very positive link between exercise and how we feel about ourselves. This study coincides very well with the results of the study done by Sun, Kerstetter, and Moen, which was titled "Illuminating Identity and Health in the Constraint Negotiation of Leisure Time Physical Activity in Mid to Late Life," where they found that there was a very positive link between how one felt about one's condition and whether one was likely to participate in physical activity. If we look at the chart taken from that study, they asked people questions about health, identity with particular sports, and constraint negotiation, which they titled, or which they described as what one had to overcome in order to exercise. And what they found was that as one perceived their health to be better, they were much more likely to participate in leisure time physical activity. If they perceived their health to be poor, they were much less likely. If they had a higher identity with a sport, in other words, they thought they were a basketball player, a runner, a tennis player, they were much more likely to participate in sports, whereas if they didn't have a particular sport they enjoyed, they were much less likely. What they found had little to no effect was that if it was difficult for a person to participate in sports, it didn't affect their health, either good or bad, or whether they were more or less likely. The other two factors were what determined whether or not they were going to keep participating in sports. While exercise by itself can help us to feel better and be healthier, studies have also found direct links to exercise and several other benefits for older people. We often hear of relatives or acquaintances that have fallen, broken a hip or an arm, or some other bone, in a common fall that for a young person they would just get up and brush it off and go on, but for an older person causes them lengthy hospital stays. In a study that was done by Karamandis and Arampatsis that was titled "Age-Related Degeneration in Leg Extensor Muscle Tendon Units," they took 3 groups and they induced a forced forward fall. In other words, they pushed these people from behind and counted how long it took them to catch their balance. In the younger group, they were able to catch their balance in 1 step. In the much older group, it took them 2 or 3 steps. But they also studied an older group who were runners, and they found that those runners were also able to catch themselves in 1 step. And the author concluded that the runners were able to maintain a much higher muscle tendon capacity than those of their peers. This greater stability, they said, was likely to prevent falls that would lead to lengthy hospitalizations. Falls are a serious issue, but only one of the things that can cause people problems. In the study done by Duras et al., they found that martial arts training enhanced the immune system, and their study was called "Martial Art Training Enhances the Glutathione Antioxidant System in Middle-Aged Adults." And those people had a much better immune system response than the sedentary group. Perhaps one of the greatest benefits of exercise resulted from increased cardiovascular health. In the study done by Batty, entitled "Physical Activity and Coronary Heart Disease in Older Adults," he found that as one's physical activity increased, their likelihood for coronary heart disease decreased. Regular exercise can be your vehicle to a better life now and in the future. It can lower your risk for coronary heart disease, help prevent fall-related injuries, and increase your immune system's response to diseases. Just as important, exercise in your middle years will allow you to continue to enjoy outside activities and sports that you've been participating in all your life. Thank you.
Are you trying to say that people don't really get old? They just stop being active and their bodies fall apart because of inactivity?
No, aging is clearly a reality, and we can't get away from that, but some of the things that are associated with aging, such as poor balance, lack of mobility, and lack of endurance, can be offset to a degree by physical activity.
Does this mean that I won't have health problems when I'm older if I exercise now?
Well, exercise will increase your immunity or your immune system's response to common illnesses and make you less likely to have other conditions. However, it cannot guarantee you will be free of health issues.